Have you ever noticed the difference between how you deal with things in your life, like challenges, when you're in a good mood compared to when you're having an awful day and you feel terrible and you're angry at everything and you're depressed and everything is just going wrong? Interestingly enough, that can vary greatly. Who we are based on how we feel and then how we will deal with things can be very different. So if I'm having a good day, I might see a particular issue as a challenge, as an opportunity to grow. But if I'm having a bad day, I might see that same challenge or that same issue as a piece of shit motherfucker that's trying to ruin my day and it needs to just fuck off and die. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's an inanimate object. It doesn't matter. It's basically the same. So we have this tendency when we're in a good mood to think that life is easy, life is great, everything is going well, we can deal with anything. This is like a true reflection of who I am. And yes, in a lot of ways, those good days, those moments where we can deal with difficulties in our lives with that shift in who we are in terms of using challenges as an opportunity for growth, that is a reflection of what our potential could be, what we could be like at our best if we were always that way. But I mean, I don't know anyone who only ever has good days. Everyone that I have ever met, even animals, have some challenging days. They're days where you just rather don't want to get out of bed. And we all have that. We all have these we have challenges that are sometimes shared by many, and sometimes we have challenges that not a lot of people can understand. But we all have difficulties. We have bad days. We have those moments where we really fail ourselves, where we are really ashamed of who we've been, of what we've done or said, or how we dealt with an issue. And yes, on the one hand, that is a reflection of those things that we still need to deal with, the things in our lives and in ourselves that we need to find a better way of responding to those moments of getting ourselves out of a funk, or of different ways of dealing with frustrations, things like that. And on the other hand, it's also a point of having the willingness to be strict with ourselves in those moments where we are having a bad day. Because when things are good and going well, everything seems easy. And we say to ourselves, no, next time I get that angry, as soon as I feel the anger, I'm just going to stop and it's going to be fine, and I'll deal with it differently. I'm going to say these things instead of those things and it'll be fine. But in the moment when it happens, our discipline, our self-discipline, as well as our what's the word? Inhibitions kind of go out the window. So when we get angry, we get angry and we want to just explode. So in those moments, because that sense of control kind of slips away, it's not about controlling ourselves, it's about being deliberate in what we're actually going to live. So when the emotions, when those bad days come and you're having all of these different kinds of emotions coming up and you're having all of these really negative kind of thought cycles going through your head, it's about forcing yourself to reinstate that discipline and getting yourself back to a point of, okay, I may not be able to deal with this point right now, but at least what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I don't deal with it in a way that I'm going to regret. So sometimes in those moments, the best thing is to just step back and do nothing. Whereas other times we are able to do a 180 and get ourselves back on track and get ourselves back into a state where we know that we're going to be moving these points effectively. We know we're not going to be reacting or lashing out or doing anything. So is it difficult? Yes. Are we going to make mistakes and fail in moments? Yes. Although on the other hand, in an ideal setting, the truth is that we have the ability to develop ourselves in such a way that we don't have those moments of failing ourselves. Although the point is that if I do make a mistake, if I do fail myself, if I do let myself down, I'm going to learn from it, I'm going to forgive myself, and I'm going to try again. However, I am not going to use that as an excuse to allow myself to make those same mistakes in the future. So that's the slight difference between real self-forgiveness and just looking for absolution, looking for someone to take our sins away so that we can go and sin again. So it's quite an interesting point to ponder, that point of how we change based on our moods, based on how we're feeling, and how we deal with the world and with ourselves differently, and how we can support ourselves to do better, to be better in those challenging moments, even though it's really, really difficult. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, you can send a direct message or you can leave a comment. You can ask me to expand on particular points if you'd like. Otherwise, if you'd like to support me, you can do so on Patreon. The link is below in the description. See you next time.